All right. Hello and welcome to the Weekly Reel podcast. My name is Jeremy.
And my name is Ken.
And Ken, we are back. Season 7 premiere here on the Weekly Reel podcast. Dude, how long has it been since we've actually recorded something?
I want to say it's been 6 months, maybe even more, a little bit more than 6 months, because our last episode was Oppenheimer.
Yeah. So from one Oscar nominated movie to whatever we're talking about today, which we're actually going to be talking about Madam Web in just a little bit. But Ken, dude, since it's been a while, I wanted us to warm up here on the podcast. We watched a lot of movies together and on our own. So I want to ask you, what was the best thing that you watched during our hiatus?
All right, with all apologies to the Marvels. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shoot,
Um,
calling them out
I'm
already.
just kidding. I was just glad that I finally got a chance to watch it. I never got a chance to watch it in theaters. But to answer your question, the best thing I watched in during our hiatus was The Bear. I was a little bit late to the I guess to the show a little bit, but once I got in, I felt like I caught up right away. It's such a good show. It's right up my alley. One of my favorite movies, and I think I mentioned it on our latest trailer, was Chef, and it
Mm.
gave me Chef vibes, but in a more intense way, and it still had its lighter moments as well. I'm trying to give, I guess, my elevator pitch, but it's streaming now on Hulu. Through well, it's FX, but through Hulu. And yeah, I have an honorable mention, but I'll let you go first.
Okay, all right. I don't want to steal their honorable mention either, but I'm gonna say yours is a really good pick. I've seen all the trailers, all the previews, but I haven't dive deep into it yet because I'm sure I'm going to want to binge it. But my pick is The Killer, which was a
Ooh.
Netflix movie by David Fincher starring Michael Fassbender. Super kind of a slow burn movie, but I love like the dark, kind of seedy nature of it. I don't know. I'm just going that movie where Michael Fassbender just goes around killing people in kind of weird ways, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, I do follow some people on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about The Killer. I've been meaning to watch that, so I'm glad that it's the best thing you've seen, because that's just the recommendation that I needed. And so, yeah,
Yeah, but you know me, I love like the dark
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and sometimes I don't mind slow movies. And well, we're also going to talk about a slow movie today, but not so much in a good slow burn way.
Yeah. By the way, that honorable mention was actually your recommendation. When I finally got a chance to watch Reacher, I was
Hmm.
like, man, I should have just jumped on Reacher, the show, from season one when you kept talking about it on this podcast. So I'm glad I finally watched it. It was really, really good, especially season one. Season one was top notch.
Yeah, man, season one. I liked season two. Some people did not like season two. Still like not as good as season one though.
Hmm.
But
Agreed.
season three looks like they're pointing in the right direction again. I mean,
Yes.
I just want more Reacher.
Yeah.
But honorable mention from me, Iron Claw that we saw together.
Oh, yes. That was probably the best movie I saw during the hiatus. And I'm glad we saw it actually before it went away. Because we were kind of late too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah, we were about a month late to watching that movie, but
Hey, but
it
better
was good.
late than never.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, all right. No more dilly-dallying. We're going to talk about Madam Web, and Madam Web is about Cassandra Webb. Oh, a little on the nose there. And she begins to see visions and premonitions of the future. Through these visions, she tries to protect three women from a predator with spider abilities. Okay, Ken. We saw this movie together last week.
Well, I saw most of it. I saw most of it. I had
Between your
long
long
I
blinks.
had long blinks.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you did end up watching it a second time, to
Yeah,
my surprise.
I'll get to it. The things I do for this podcast, the things I do.
Things you do, but I guess it's the perfect time because it's first impressions time, Ken, where we give just off the cuff, just when we watch the movie. I remember when we were walking out, we had this. It's like, what do I say about this movie? What was your first impressions for it?
Um, my initial thought was, why is Sony still making live action movies? Because I mean, if you're talking about non Spider-Man movies, the last four, especially in this Sony-Verse that they're trying to create, they've got Venom, Venom Let There Be Carnage, it's Morbin time. Yes,
It's
Morbius, and now Madam Web. All of them are either very average at best to straight up
That's true.
garbage like this movie. And yeah, I don't it I even try to temper my expectations too, because you got to remember Madam Web is actually on the heels of quite possibly one of the best movies of 2023, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So
Yep.
I was pretty hyped when I initially saw the trailer, but when I saw the bad reviews coming in, I was like, okay, let's temper them to Morbius levels, and I still overshot it. Yes, I like Morbius more than
Oh,
Madam Web.
really? Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
I
Madam Web was pretty bad.
darn. I don't know. I haven't seen Morbius, just to put that disclaimer out there. Um, but yeah, that mean, dang, if Morbius is a little bit better, I have a quick question later on though. That might
Yeah.
be in the double feature section.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just a little preview. Dude, I secretly had high hopes for this movie. Not high hopes, you know what I mean? Not like, oh shoot, this thing's gonna be better than the Dark Knight. It's gonna be freaking better than the Spider-Verse movies.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but I just was hoping for like a simple kind of linear story, even if it was like 90 minutes or whatever. Just like the Spider Women kicking like the Ezekiel Sims butt. That's it. That's all I wanted, and we didn't get that. So, um, what we got like was pretty much nothing like I wanted. Pretty much.
Yeah, it was all over the map. And it's evident from the jump. It was just weird stuff that was happening. And obviously we'll get into it probably within the double feature. But a lot of weird choices were made, including, I mean, you mentioned Ezekiel Sims, all of his dubbed audio that was a lot of times out of sync. It just was a weird theatrical experience.
Yeah, I remember about 20 minutes into that movie realizing I'm like, is he like basically dubbed 95% of the time? So
Yeah, he
every
was.
time he popped up, I was like, damn, he is really. It's like I can't believe this movie. And just to quickly touch on something too, in the very beginning when they were on the Amazon, and I was like, okay, they kept doing this kind of mockumentary style, like zoom in, zoom out. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
And I was like, that's so distracting. What is this, The Office or something? And I was like, okay, if that's a stylistic choice, maybe they'll keep doing it as the movie keeps going. No, it's just for that one scene.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of interesting choices, and man, we haven't even touched on like the writing, the horrible acting,
Hmm.
the awful telegraphed dialogue. Oh man, we'll get into it.
Yeah, I think that perfectly transitions to the double feature. And to remind our audience, one, we're here on a live stream. I wanted to call
Woo!
out some people. Show Jax is in the chat. Bam said Cam. Jacqueline English is there too. But to remind everyone watching and listening, the double feature is where me and Ken come up with, each of us comes up with a question that we don't know what we're going to ask each other, and we're going to answer it here on the double feature section. And Ken, you were mentioning of like all the different areas of how Madam Web is pretty much like a dumpster fire.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you could choose one aspect of the movie to change, but everything else stays the same,
God.
what would you choose?
Um, man, I would probably choose. You know what? Let's recast Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson. For those who have watched this movie, it was evident early on that she was the most unlikable main character. She was supposed to be the main protagonist, the main person to kind of be that that mentor figure to the three high school students. And then obviously she ends up becoming Madam Web as the story unfolds. A lot of like her dialogue and her attitude, it just made her so unlikable. Like, take for example, early on in the movie, she I guess her and Ben Parker
Mhm.
are in the hospital after they they did their thing, and all of a sudden there's this little kid, sweet little kid, who's very thankful for um her saving his mom, right?
Yep, his mom.
And he drew her a picture, and she's all like, what do I do with this? It's I can't fold it or whatever, but it was like a piece of paper. It was a
Seriously.
piece of paper. It's what is this, cardboard? I was like, no, it's actual paper. And she was just very unlikable throughout the movie. Like, a lot of the comments that she would say, the way she would talk, it's just like it's like probably the worst written character, probably arguably of all time.
Ooh, dang. So just full on recast or just like rewrite the character?
All of it. But yeah, I mean, it starts with someone being likable. And I feel like if they would have had someone with a little bit more charisma, because she was boring AF, she was very boring, and not and I don't know, she just made me want to just walk out of the theater. But for the purposes of this podcast, I decided to come back for more. So
Okay. Thank you
yeah,
for your sacrifice.
yeah. Just
Shoot.
for the peeps in the that are checking us out on live stream, just for you, just for
Yeah,
you.
man. Dude, like I remember watching it. I was like she gave me Kristen Stewart in Twilight vibes, but not even to that extent. She was kind of like mean in a way. I was just like but at the same time, it seemed like they wrote her like that on purpose, like to be like that type of outcast type of character. But I don't know if you should write your lead character like that. And since I was actually gonna say change the POV character. That was gonna be my answer. Because like you, kind of unlikable. Kind of the story was not the most exciting. I would rather follow one of the three Spider Women at
Mhm.
any age where they were at like either 10 years later or at the present day. Well, it's supposed to be 2003, right?
Yeah, 2003. I mean, as evidenced by the shameless blockbuster video,
Oh yeah.
the album of what do you call it? Beyonce. What was it? What was that 2003 album?
Wait,
Dangerously in Love or something like that.
something
For
like
all
that.
the
I
I
forgot
know,
about that.
yeah, it was pretty bad. And then the overt, oh, I gotta just get back home so that I can watch Idol. And I'm like, oh God, this is such horrible, horrible dialogue right now that I'm listening to. Who talks like that?
Yeah, it was very robotic when she was talking, very robotic. And I was gonna say POV character though. First thing I noticed in the movie though was the first 30 minutes of the movie are completely like unnecessary. I know they're trying to set up like the Amazon, her mom, Ezekiel Sims, and all that stuff. But imagine we just dive right into the movie when they're all like on the subway, and we're like, "What the hell is going on? Who is this guy?" I think that
Yeah.
would like have more intrigue for me as an audience member to be like, "Whoa, all this chaos is happening," and then they're gonna explain it later on.
Later on, yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
first 30 minutes are just like rough. I mean, the whole
yeah,
movie's rough, but the first 30 minutes, like, oh, when are we gonna get somewhere? And yeah, it was pretty bad.
yeah, and I mean, close second for me was, why was Ezekiel Sims audio dubbed the whole movie? It took me out of the movie.
It
I'm
did.
sorry. That was so bad with, like, how it was out of sync too,
Hmm.
and it was so obvious, because a lot of his dialogue was when they were showing that his assistant or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was just reaction shots, and he would just be talking in the background. I was like, "What is going on right now?
Yeah, and
Who
the
who greenlit this movie?"
the dub performance wasn't very good either. It did sound like he was in like a studio off somewhere else too.
Yeah,
But did you notice why was he barefoot? Like for no reason. And then all of a sudden he just magically changes into his spider outfit and
yeah, I don't know.
then he's
Yeah,
back to being barefoot. Like what's the point? I don't know. I don't understand this guy.
yeah, I don't know. Did he change, or did it like did the suit
Nanotech?
just come out of? Yeah, was it like nanotech? Was it like Venom? Like a what do you call it? Symbiote?
Yeah. I mean, and why I don't know. And if Spider-Man wasn't born yet in this movie, why is he kind of dressing up like Spider-Man?
They're good, very good questions. I'm sure there are plenty of questions out there, from I guess fans like us that we know that they want to ask Sony. It's like, what is going on in this movie? And speaking of questions, for my half of the double feature, I'm just gonna get straight right into it. I'm not even gonna set it up. Is Madam Web the worst comic book movie you've ever seen?
Oh no.
And if so, why? I mean, we've kind of talked about it, but I guess what's the absolute worst thing about this movie? But if something is worse than that, elaborate why this movie is a tiny bit better than whatever movie you have as the
Crap.
worst.
Mm.
We've had a
Darn.
lot of them. I haven't personally seen the Halle Berry Catwoman.
I haven't either.
There's Green Lantern of Ryan Reynolds fame.
Uh-huh.
We got Batman and Robin. We've got Thor: The Dark World. We got Morbius,
Hulks, yeah,
Morbin Time.
Morbius. You got Fan Four Stick, which
Oh
I've
yeah,
never
Fan
seen
Four
either.
Stick. I haven't seen that yet either.
Oh man. That is a tough question. I was about to say, oh, Daredevil with Ben Affleck, but do I kind of that's kind of guilty pleasure.
Elektra.
Elektra, I haven't seen that.
Oh, I haven't seen it either.
um, I don't know. X-Men Last Stand? No, I don't think so. I'm kind of working my way. I was like, the Blade movies? No. Um, crap. Is it the worst I've seen? I like the Ghost Rider movies more. It has Nicolas Cage in it.
Nah, Nicholas Cage is he's a fan favorite now. He's underrated.
Yeah.
By the way, Jackie, while you're thinking, Jackie in the comments said Halle Berry Catwoman was bad. So I take it she spent some time watching that movie. And Dana Martin also concurs. She says that she fell asleep. So I can't tell you why. So uh, I wish we can say Catwoman because I haven't seen it yet either. But yeah.
Ooh, and even Sean Tierra says easy, yes, if not the worst. Okay. Oh crap. I would also I agree with Sean. I think it is the worst I've seen because I haven't seen Fan Four Stick. I haven't seen the Catwoman, like Jacqueline. But why? I think it's also like thinking about Batman and Robin. At least with that movie, it's so bad it's good. Like it's funny in a way. It's like, oh, nice to meet you and all that stuff. But this movie, it doesn't make me want to rewatch it. If someone has it on TV playing it, I'm not gonna stop and look at it. If someone's playing it at a party, just leave the party. Like, yeah, I wanted to like this movie. I tried. And remember when we were watching, I was like, damn, I should have got popcorn. At
Oh
least
yeah, that's right.
it's like at least I would have something else to do.
Didn't help that you had an ice cream. The cookie ice cream sandwich, right? That probably worked against you. If anything, you
Yeah.
got the sugar rush.
Yeah, it made me kind of fall asleep
Yeah,
halfway through, but not really fall asleep. I had to stay awake,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of all the ones that I've seen. I think prior to this movie, I was like Morbius was up there, and Batman and Robin was up there. But the two common things that Morbius, along with Batman and Robin, have, there's a couple of entertaining random scenes that Madam Web never bothered to establish. Madam Web's just straight garbage and straight boring, and it's really bad acting and writing. So there's really not one redeemable thing, other than, well, I'm I'll mention it now. I'll probably touch on it later on, but the only redeeming thing about this movie was the fact that it was less than 2 hours.
The question is for me, would I rather watch this or Dune Part 1? I'm just kidding. All 3 words. I'm just kidding. No,
There you
I'd
go.
still watch Dune. I
Yeah.
think it's that bad. And Ken knows, man, how I don't like Dune.
This is like miles worse though. Come
Yeah,
on.
this is my
You're
I've
just
been-
trolling now if you're
at
putting
that
Doom
part I
Part
was just
1 on.
trolling.
Come on.
Like even Sean says makes Thor: The Dark World look like a masterpiece.
Agreed.
I agree. I would rather watch Dark World like once a week than having to watch this movie again.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Damn, man. Okay. Well, we're going to go into our favorite game of the podcast. We're bringing it back. It is Guess the Rotten Tomato Score for season 7. I am the reigning champ. Oh, whoops. Of the last 2 seasons. The belt is behind me. I'm having trouble pointing. And not used to live streams. But guess Rotten Tomato Score, where we're going to guess, and whoever gets closer or gets the exact score gets the point. Are we still doing the 3 points to 1, or are we just doing 1 to 1?
Just one point. By the way,
Mhm.
I was surprised. Just an observation. I'm surprised that you didn't put like the belt over your shoulder the entire first live stream.
I should have.
Because I mean, I would have if I was the champ. Shoot.
I'm trying to make it subtle, man. I'm used to the audio podcast too.
Yeah.
I forgot this is our first live stream. Maybe I'll do that next week. I'm so used to just having audio only.
Yeah.
And if you're listening only, then you're cool
missing out.
too.
Yeah, you're missing out. Check us out mostly on Wednesday nights, 7:00 Pacific time. So yeah, schedule's in.
Yeah. Okay, Ken. Your turn to guess. Are we flipping a coin? You want to do that first for this? Or
We'll save that for the next section.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My guess for the Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, just so that people know, we put our guesses in first before we even check on it. So we're on the honor system. And so that being said, my guess for Madam Web, I was thinking single digits, but I was like, you know what? Some people probably will be fanboys of Sony. I will say 19.
Oh, okay. I am pretty close to you. I guessed, like, once we got out of the theater, I was like, okay, I'm going to guess. I guessed 20%.
Ooh. Dude, I think we're watching movies like, I don't know,
Together or
too
something.
much. Yeah. We're starting to guess similarly.
And we're starting to say the same things. All right. Here we go. And The Rotten Tomato score for Madam Web is 13%.
Bow, bow,
Yeah,
bow, bow. All
we
right.
gotta get sound effects too.
I know, right? Revenge Tour.
Dang,
Revenge
Ken.
Tour.
Okay, 13%. That's with 209 reviews. You get the first score of season 7. It's gonna be a long season.
Yes, it will be.
I'll come back. Don't worry.
He always does.
Reigning champ.
Yeah. Yeah, you've won. Well, I mean, this is season 7, obviously, but you've won 4 out of the 6 seasons. You took the first 2 seasons. I took seasons 3 and 4, but you've taken the last 2. But the last 2 have been really close. I remember last season was down to the final episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the last episode. That was pretty insane. It was
Yeah.
that season was too close for comfort.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken. We also have a new segment on here. But before that, Dino Banzon says hi. Sean Tiera said 2.
Hey, I think he's looking at my notes for my own score.
Jan J says I was gonna say 16%, not far off. She would have won.
Oh, she would have kicked both of our butts.
Yeah. And Sean also says 13% is too kind.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, I think.
Yeah.
Still, that's pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I was hoping for single digits, to be honest.
Yeah. Two sounds. I mean, look, if they're gonna give Fast X like higher, I don't know, man. Which one would I rather watch? This or Fast X?
Fast X all day.
That's true. It has.
I'd rather
Aquaman.
watch all of them actually, back to back to back.
Damn. All right.
Then spend another 1 hour and 56 minutes watching this again.
Okay. I feel you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we reach our new segment of season 7. It is the real review. We're gonna have our basically overall thoughts, kind of for Madam Web here. Just package it up in a real nice bow here in the real review.
Yes. Okay, for my real review, my first one. So, pardon me if this is a little rough, but well, Warner Brothers has been notorious, especially lately, for shelving projects for good, actually. The Batgirl from last year, and then most recently, the Coyote versus Acme movie. Well, I really wish Sony did the same for Madam Web because there was just so many bad things. I mean, we went through a laundry list of bad things. The weird dubbing was probably the weirdest choice. It just seemed like there was like a lot of re-editing and reshooting and obviously redubbing the audio, but the bad writing, I was like, who talks like this? As well as the unlikable main character in Dakota Johnson just makes this the worst 1 hour and 56 minutes. Actually, for me, it's what, 3 hours and 52 minutes of my life. And so I really wish Sony would reimburse me for the 3 hours and 52 minutes. And so highest recommendation to avoid, unless you really want to hate watch this movie, my I Love You 3000 score is a 90 out of 3,000, which translates to 3%.
Dang. Sean, you would have won that.
Yeah, Sean, that's why I was like, "Whoa, were you reading off of my my review?" So yeah, whopping 3%.
That is insane.
My lowest score to date, and it happens to be on our first live stream.
Yes. Oh, dang. Okay. For me, Madam Web is not worth your time at all. If you're looking for so bad it's good, this is definitely not it. Go watch Batman Robin. The dialogue is horrible. It never really picks up at any point during the movie. It doesn't even deliver on being the bare minimum of like a superhero movie. It's like they wanted to make a different movie, but had to put like a superhero like spin to it or a label on it, but everything about it was like non-superhero esque. If you wanted Spider Women just working together, kicking butt, you don't get that either. You want a cool villain with a cool suit, cool powers, don't get that either. So it's a total like waste of a, I think, pretty decent cast. I don't hate Dakota Johnson as much as Ken was putting on his review, but I'm giving it a, I think also my lowest score of 330 out of 3,000.
Was that 11?
Yes, it is 11. So 11% from me.
That's too high, bro.
I know, man. I look, okay. What my thinking was, and obviously it's like I have to leave some room. I feel like there must be another movie out there that has to be worse that we haven't seen yet. And I'm sure we'll watch it one of these days, but I'm leaving that wiggle room. I could have chose 2% and then it could have been like 1%, but I'm giving a little bit more room.
Oh, we got more comments, I think.
All right. Ooh, okay.
For sure, Jack says I'd say the Flash was better. I mean, that's not even a contest.
Yeah, dude, I actually enjoyed the Flash
Yeah, I think we're probably two of the only ones that enjoyed it like more than the average person.
It wasn't the greatest DC movie of all time, but for me it beat even like the Marvels, I think. Ooh. Dino says, just watched The Flash and finished last night. How does that compare to Madam Web? Just kidding, Dino. The Flash, at least it has Michael Keaton. You can watch Michael Keaton. You can watch Batman.
Supergirl was pretty good too.
And Supergirl, yeah. And the action was much better. I mean, the budget on that movie compared to this one, I think this one was like $80 million. So relatively low budget for a superhero movie, but still.
Sean should have jumped out of the theater the way Ezekiel was jumping everywhere, or the way Dakota Johnson was driving ambulances.
Dang, it's like, man, I wish that ambulance hit me.
I
Out of
mean,
this theater.
there was another nitpick. I mean, there's why did she steal that ambulance at the end when there was like EMTs trying to help out like the neighbor, the Peter what do you call it, Ben Parker's neighbor? Like they probably lost someone because she stole an ambulance. How do you do that? Why?
Yeah, she just totally killed somebody else.
Yeah.
So, off screen. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't question this movie anymore.
Yeah.
It's just, it does what it does. And they tried to have like this kind of heartfelt moment when she was teaching the girls like how to do CPR. Oh, yeah. And I was like, for one, I think these girls should be old enough to know how to do CPR. They must have taken a health class in high school or whatever. Except maybe, what's her name? Maddie, I think. Probably ditches school, but
Oh, I didn't catch this until I watched a new Rockstar's breakdown of this movie because I needed a refresher. I didn't realize that she was the niece of J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't catch that initially. I hope we're talking about the right person. Maddie. It was Maddie.
Okay, I did not notice that. Yeah. Obviously, there was like Daily Bugle stuff everywhere. Mm-hmm. They refused to say Peter Parker, Ben Parker survived this movie. I think that's the first time we've ever seen Ben Parker survive a movie. So, trophy goes to him, I guess.
Dude, the overt great power, or they would just try to piece it, responsibility, all the other stuff, just so that they can wink. It's like, hey, yeah, we're connected to Spider-Man. Oh God, it was pretty bad.
Don't be connected to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If anything, they Did you hear about the rumors that Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire almost was like in this movie?
Thank God they weren't.
I know. Save them
Yeah.
from this movie. Well, Ken, what are we going to be watching for next week's live stream and episode?
Well, we're going to be catching a brand new movie. Well, actually, I don't know if anyone caught our trailer, but we're only going to be doing new movies, right?
Oh, yes. And I can actually preview that a little bit. And next week, we're going to be watching a character, Rachel, who is a famous author who writes spy novels. The funny thing is that her novels seem to mirror real life events. This causes her to be caught in a web of espionage in Argyle 2024, starring Bryce Dallas Howard and what's his name?
Well, there was Henry Cavill.
There's Henry Cavill.
There was John Cena.
Yeah.
There was who
I
else?
remember it. His name is Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah, that's
Somebody
right.
help me in the chat.
I forgot it was Justin Hammer. It
Oh.
is
Robert Downey Jr. Ah, there you go. For sure, Jack says
Sam
Dua
Rockwell.
Lipa.
Yes. Sam Rockwell, by the way.
Sam Rockwell. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and Walter White's in this movie too.
Oh yeah. Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you
man.
go. So you get all our thoughts on Argyle next week.
Yes.
So Ken, anything you want to share for the audience, either listening, watching? Where can they find us?
Well, as you can see, we started this live stream. This is our very first one ever, and I think it's going pretty good. So we'll probably incorporate this for the rest of this podcast life anyway. So to follow us, actually no, they don't say follow us on YouTube. It's subscribe, right? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell for alerts so that you can get the alerts to when the next live stream will be. It'll generally be every Wednesday night at 7:00 Pacific time. So just mark that on your calendars. We'll let you know if we happen to skip a week or not. But yeah, we will be covering only new movies moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future. Also, follow us on Instagram at Weekly Reel. That's usually where we make our announcements. We put links on there. And we have quick one minute reels from our video. I mean, we were doing video a little bit, dabbling in it the previous seasons. Now we're doing full episodes. So check us out at Weekly Reel on Instagram. And we'll put some TikTok exclusive content out there. So follow us there at Weekly Reel Pod. I was thinking of maybe doing some one-off standalone reviews, similar to what we were kind of doing on our off season. So yeah, I kind of want to get back into doing that with some of the movies that we're giving the full treatment on. So follow us there, TikTok at Weekly Reel Pod.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, just to remind everyone listening, everyone watching, feel free to comment anytime, whether we're live streaming at the moment. We could always answer any of your comments and answer any of your questions, or leave a comment afterwards, and we'll get back to you there as well. This is actually the end of part 1. We're actually doing a new format this season for the season 7. Part 1, we're going to be talking about the main movie of the week this week, Madam Web. And now in part 2, and after just a quick break, we are going to be doing a Sony-Verse movie draft. So until next week, where we talk about Argyle and the crazy spy world that is in Argyle, we'll see you next time on The Reel.
Hey, welcome back from the break. And it's my pleasure to introduce the very first serving of the soup du jour.
Oh, what's the soup du jour?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Jeremy, because it's the soup of the day.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
All right. So, for those of you who actually follow the podcast, I think we started this last season, the soup du jour.
Mhm.
We're actually rebranding the soup du jour so that we can actually talk about whatever movie or TV topic we choose. So it could be news on a given week, it could be a top 5 list on another week. This week, obviously, if you stay tuned, if you actually listen to part 1 of this live stream where we talked about Madam Web is a part of the Sony-Verse. And so for our very first soup du jour, Jeremy, I
Mhm.
figured it'd be fun to do a Sony-Verse theatrical release movie draft. And it's
Ooh.
our first one of the podcast. And so I figured it'd be fun to kind of flip a coin to see who gets the first pick. And do you want to kind of get that done?
Yes. So in this draft, pretty much we have a pool of 14 movies to choose from.
Yes.
So whoever chooses first, let's say if we were doing MCU or something like that, if I chose Thor Dark World first, then you can't choose Thor Dark World.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's go through the list. So we got the Raimi trilogy. We have Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. Then we have the what do you call that? Andrew Garfield movies, The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Then we
Mhm.
got the Tom Holland trilogy. We have what do you call it? Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Then we got the 2 animation movies, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Then the Spider verse adjacent, we'll just say. we got Venom. We got Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and our favorite movie of all time, Madam Web. And so we have a pool of 14.
Hmm.
I guess this is draft rule. So if I take someone a movie, then it's off the board for Jeremy, and vice versa. So who
Okay.
gets first pick? Jeremy, do that coin flip.
All right. Here we go. Ken, what's your call?
I will say tails never fails.
Okay. And it is Tails.
Yeah. All
I don't know
right.
if I could show you. My camera's not that good, but
All right. Well, with the first pick of the Sony-Verse draft, I don't know if this is recency bias, but I will take Across the Spider-Verse off the board.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, my pick for round 1 is Spider-Man 2 from 2004.
Yes, I figured you would go that
Mhm.
route. Okay, so just so you know, we're gonna do the snake draft. So for round 2, and we'll kind of have you go first. So we'll go with you first, then me for round 2, and then me, then you for round 3. We're kind of
Mhm.
going in snake order. So what's your round 2 pick, Jeremy?
My round 2 pick is Spider-Man. Surprise, surprise.
Whoa! Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna let me get both?"
Nah, dude. Into the Spider-Verse. I'm taking Into the Spider-Verse.
Ah, man. Okay, good pick. Good pick.
Okay, gonna mark that
Let's
down.
see.
Pen and pencil, or
All
paper
right.
and pen.
Full stop. I only have 4 movies on my board, so I'm gonna wing it after round 2. So, I'll take my 4th best movie on my list. I'm taking No Way Home.
No Way Home. Okay, cross that out.
Okay, so now what do we got? Okay, so for my 3rd pick,
Mm-hmm.
I will not say Morbius, and that's I'm not. I don't want to reach for Morbin time.
Morbin time.
No. Why you got to do that? I will go with the original Spider-Man.
Damn. I feel like Kevin Costner in Draft Day right now. I trade Morbius for, somebody else.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Spider-Man. I am going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hmm.
All right. So you got first pick in round 4.
Okay. I am choosing. Crap. Let's see. I'm going Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh, so you doing the Tom Holland back to
I'm
back,
taking
huh?
Tom Holland. I'm taking all the Tom Holland. I'm just kidding. No, you got the No Way Home.
Oh man. By the way, Jan J says we need the NFL draft music. We do, and we'll probably add that in post.
Yeah, we'll download it later on. And
Yeah,
just
well, we got to
add it
download
in.
it later. Yeah,
Yeah. Dang, that's a good idea.
yeah.
I
We'll
don't know
do
if it's
that.
copyrighted though, right?
Yeah, we'll have to double
Maybe.
check that.
We'll double check.
We'll double check that. Yeah. If anything, we'll put that on the TikTok. Anyway, so what do we got left on the board? We got the Garfield movies, our favorite
The cat movies, okay.
Spider-Man 3,
Spider-Man 3. Okay.
and then Spider Adjacent, huh?
Yep, Spider Jason.
Ooh, man. Okay, I will go with a hot take.
Oh
I'm
crap.
going for round 4, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I like it.
Really?
I like it. I like it more than a lot
Oh,
of people. You know why?
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man
Guys.
2. I like it because they referenced it in No Way Home. The very end. Spoiler alert.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Andrew Garfield redemption arc was fantastic in No Way Home.
That's true.
And that being said, you know what? Screw it. I forget how much I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. So I'm gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with a non. I'm not gonna go with a non Spider-Man movie. I'm going with Spider-Man 3 with my last pick.
Dang. Okay. So you take Spider. Okay.
Are you reaching for Spider Adjacent or what?
Crap. No, I'm gonna go with the Amazing Spider-Man. I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man.
So a clean sweep for all, for the draft. We didn't even bother mentioning the other 4.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to take the Spider adjacents, I actually would have ranked it Venom, first Venom, then Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and then Madam Web. And I didn't even watch Morbius, so
Morbius is better, like way better. Because
like
you'll see why. I don't even want to
better
spoil
than Venom, Let There Be Carnage. You have to think about that pretty hard.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different kind of suck. You know what I mean? I feel like at least Morbius had a little bit, a little bit of no, but you know what? Tom Hardy. Yeah, Tom Hardy. I'd probably go Let There Be Carnage. But Matt Smith is actually pretty good in Morbius.
In Morbius, okay.
Yeah. And I enjoyed him in House of the Dragon. So yeah. It's pretty close.
Okay. I mean, from choosing Madam Web to I've seen these characters like in the Spider-Man 90s animated show and Morbius. I couldn't stand him in the cartoon and I couldn't stand Madam Web, so I don't know why
Madam Web was the worst. I was like, oh god, one of these. I'll just flip.
Yeah.
Let me watch the Batman the Animated Series instead.
Oh heck yeah. You had Batman, Superman animated series.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hey, Sean said something.
Yeah, Sean says The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was actually decent though. Jeremy still clowns me on that.
Vindicated.
Okay, look. I've
Thank you, Sean.
watched Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm not saying it's bad. I actually would put it over some of the lower tier MCU movies. It's not horrible. And Sean, see, if he's saying Morbius the greatest movie of all time, I think that just proved my point with your last comment. So sorry.
It's Morbin time.
And for show Jax says, I love blue people?
Why you gotta say it?
Because there was two L's, man. You got to pronounce it properly.
Maybe it's like Spanish. It's I love blue people.
Wait, which blue people? Jacks.
Avatar,
Fishing.
Smurfs, Blue Man Group,
There you go.
all of the above.
I was up to say Snoopy did. Snoopy's not blue.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, I feel like had the best chemistry between the male and female leads.
That is not a hot take. Yeah, that's
Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were smoldering on screen.
Yeah, I do feel like their writing was better though in the first
Oh,
Amazing
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right, Jamie Foxx. That's why I liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than the
Oh,
first one.
okay. Yeah, there you go. For sure, Jax was saying the reference to Jerry Maguire. Yeah, okay, I see.
I forgot about that.
I see. I see what you're trying to do there.
Oh man. Hey, so whoever's still live on our live stream, whose list do you like more? So for my list, I have Across the Spider-Verse, No Way Home, the original Spider-Man 2002, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. Jeremy has Spider-Man 2,
Yep.
arguably the best superhero movie of all time. Into the Spider-Verse, he's got the Tom Holland double with Homecoming, then Far From Home, and then what was it? What was the last
Amazing
one?
Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man. Shoot, I did
You
not
just don't like
write
that
down.
movie for
Yeah,
some
I know.
reason.
I forgot to write it down. But yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man. Whose list do you like better?
Yeah, let us know, guys. Either comment on Instagram if you're listening to this later on. TikTok, I don't know. We'll probably have it up at some point.
Thank Frank Udesu. Love the shout out. Shout out to Francis.
Yeah, and Francis also says, I remember Madam Web being hella old in the 90s cartoon. Dakota Johnson, however, a wink emoji. I have not seen the movie. Okay, so I won't spoil things.
Hate watch it, Francis.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't become hella old by the end of the movie, if that's if that's a spoiler or not. For show Jax says I'd have to go with Jeremy's. Jacqueline English says Ken's list only if he starts singing now.
Oh, what do you want me to sing?
I would probably say are you asking me or Jacqueline?
Oh no, I'm asking. Sorry, Jacqueline English. What do you want me to sing?
Ooh, okay. High School Musical.
Oh, I don't know any lyrics. That's a you thing.
Dang. Okay, fine. Dirty Dancing? No, I'm just kidding.
I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
Ooh, Jan J says, okay, sorry, but Spider-Man was horrible.
Jan J, you didn't like emo Spider-Man? Hold on. I got you.
Bully Maguire? There you go. Oh, shoot. Now someone's just got to get him a black tux. I know you have one.
Bust out the emo look. I got you. Do the rest of the podcast like this. Actually.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So for those who are just listening, Ken just totally put his hair down. He's going fully Bully Maguire right now.
Yeah, Bully Maguire.
Jacqueline English said, Pussycat Dolls, don't cha.
Don't you wish you had hot like me? I forgot the words. Hold on, let me look it up.
What? Sean said, definitely Ken's. What? You just hate Tom Holland.
Nah, he just appreciates Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I had Amazing Spider-Man 1 on there. That's a pretty good Spider-Man movie, I think.
That's
decent
hot garbage,
enough.
Just kidding.
Hey, like, I had to choose between that or freaking like Venom. You even I was about to choose Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I was thinking of hot take going with Morbin Time, but I couldn't do it. Matt Smith was actually pretty entertaining in that movie.
Okay.
You got to watch it.
All right, I'll watch it. I think it's on Disney Plus still.
Is it?
Fit
Oh shoot.
Might be. So Jack said emo Spider-Man carry that movie. I mean, I think so. I
Yeah.
think that's not the hottest take in the world.
I think Spider-Man 3 is just unfairly compared to Spider-Man 2, which is literally one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. It suffers from the same thing that Iron Man 2 suffered from, you know what I mean? Expectations. I think Spider-Man 3 actually had moments that were really good. It just became a little too much. There was too much going on
Mm.
and it was not focused. And some of the dialogue was pretty bad.
See, I agree. I agree. But you took those right away. I was like, dang. They're definitely memorable, especially Spider-Man 3.
Ooh, Jan J. Um, I'll let you read that one because that one is for your list.
It says because of the Spider-Man 3 draft. Oh, she's dissing on Spider-Man 3 for you, Ken.
Yeah, I know.
And because Tom Holland rocks Spider-Man, I'm gonna choose Jeremy's. I do have 2 out of the 3 Tom Holland ones.
I gotta practice my hair flip.
Yeah, you gotta bring it down fully. There you go.
Yeah,
There we
got it.
go.
All right. Any other comments? Well, we're also taking suggestions on different segments for the soup du jour because again, it is the soup of the day, and really we'll do whatever you guys want. So if you guys have any ideas on future soup du jour segments, please let us know.
Yeah, and we can all interact and play the games together, guys. Like for show, Jack says, which Tom Holland movie, Spidey movie, Tom Holland Spidey, I can't read, Spidey movie is the most rewatchable. Ooh, crap, the most rewatchable.
It's the
What do
third
you
one.
think? Is it the most rewatchable though?
Yes, it is. I mean, the first 30 to
Yeah.
40 minutes aren't. Every time I rewatch it, I'm like, man, this Doctor Strange stuff kind of sucks.
Really?
But
No, I
all the nostalgic stuff especially after a certain thing happens. Well, you got to listen to our episode. We did a double feature on that. After a certain thing happens in the middle, it
mhm.
picks up and it's like literally one of the best cinematic experiences
I would have to
ever.
agree also. Like No Way Home is I just rewatched it like a month ago and it was still like really good. And like you said, the stuff that happens in the middle and who appears and all that stuff is makes the movie. But if I were to choose between the other two, probably Homecoming.
Really?
Yeah, I would probably say Homecoming. Rather, I know Far From yeah, Far From Home um is pretty like well paced, but I think I like the high school like John Hughes vibes of the first one.
First one's good. I think I like the lightheartedness of the second one because it was coming off the heels. It did heavy lifting in terms of it's the movie directly after Endgame, and it somehow still pulled it up. I feel like Far From Home is a little underrated, to be honest.
I don't. Well, obviously, I took it in my top 5. So some people don't like Far From Home. I love that movie, and
I
I
enjoyed
like
it.
Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, no, he's good in everything he does, I think.
Ooh,
I've
okay,
rewatched No Way Home more than any other one. Yep.
yeah. So Dino Banzan also said I'd go with Jens because he likes Tom Holland. Okay, thank you, Dino. Yeah, for sure, Jax. Maybe just because I haven't rewatched No Way Home yet, since it's not on Disney Plus. Ooh.
I know what I'm gifting you. It's on Stars, I think.
Yeah, see, I don't get that. Why is all the Spider-Man movies on Stars?
I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be on Netflix. I feel like a lot of the content's on Netflix too. I just actually okay. So full stop. We just recorded our Madam Web episode.
Yeah.
I needed to cleanse myself of it, so I did a Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse double feature.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. How can Sony go from that to that?
Oh, shoot, you heard about like basically the cast not knowing that they were like going into the Sony-Verse, not the MCU. So
Yeah, I heard about
yeah,
that.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, but still, I don't understand. They announced this movie like years ago. I was like, who wants to watch a Madam Web movie?
Mm.
And
Frank Udesu has a good question.
he says, which is more watchable? Ooh, Spider-Man 2 or No Way Home?
Ah,
I'm sticking with Spider-Man 2.
yeah, it's like legacy or recency bias bias a virus.
I'm not even that, at least for myself. I would probably say Spider-Man 2 because it's the most like you don't even need to watch, or you don't even need to watch the first movie in order to get it. It's like a self-contained movie. With No Way Home, you need to watch like the entire MCU, but at least the two Tom Holland movies.
I will have to agree with Jeremy on this. In terms of actual just straight movie from start to finish, I feel like Spider-Man 2 is the better overall film. The thing that makes No Way Home so rewatchable are the fan moments. And obviously, all the time that we've spent with the previous movies, with the Raimi verse, the Garfield, what, two movies, and then obviously the Holland trilogy. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
And the drama is, in terms of like coming of age, I liked Spider-Man 2 more. Even though the romance and stuff is weaker than No Way Home, those have never been like the strongest things in the MCU. So No Way Home had that going for it, but I like the whole Aunt May stuff better in Spider-Man 2, even though in No Way Home, um, like the emotional stuff was what gets me the most about those two movies. But if I were to, like you said, Ken, on a technicality standpoint, Spider-Man 2, and I don't know. I don't think it's just nostalgia speaking.
Yeah. Any other questions from our live audience? I mean, we can take a couple more if there are any more.
Yeah, if not, we could always finish with our last thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Did we miss any?
Did we miss any? Tom Spy Flicks. Oh. For show Jax, when he was talking about most rewatchable, he actually did say number 2, Far From Home. That is interesting.
Ah.
Oh, shoot. You gotta tell me more about that, Jax.
You know, I like again the back and forth with Zendaya and Tom Holland in the second one. I feel like Zendaya was. I think the reason why I like Far From Home more than Homecoming is because we got more Zendaya. Zendaya has just was a bright spot for me for Far From Home. Where it was, that whole high school romance sort of thing. Obviously, it was a different love interest for
Mhm.
Homecoming, but I thought it was it was like another level in terms of the whole romance angle, I guess.
Yeah, and honestly, that movie probably had the best romance since uh, Captain America: First Avenger with Peggy and Steve, and then the first Iron Man with Pepper and Tony.
Yeah. Oof.
Frank Dasu also says, "What is the news on development on a Spider-Man noir film? Did you hear anything about that?" And he also says, "Nick Cage, baby."
Why you have to read it like next time, baby?
Next time, baby.
Nick Cage, baby. I
Oh,
haven't heard anything on a Spider-Man noir film. I the only thing that I've seen as far as that universe, I think 2025 is when we'll get Beyond the Spider-Verse. And beyond that, I don't really care for anything Sony related. I think the only other news besides that is the whole Spider-Man 4 kind of tug of war between Marvel Studios and Sony.
Mm.
Should we get into that?
Oh shoot. But in terms of, I just want to touch upon like if
Yeah.
I would want to see a Spider-Man noir film. If it was live action, I would be pretty hesitant. Um, I mean, if it was Nick Cage, I don't know, maybe. But if it was like animated, I think I would be more open to it. I think people in general would be more open to a darker, maybe more violent Spider-Man if it was like animated.
Yeah.
But if any Spider-Man should get a live action treatment or their own animated movie, would be Spider-Man 2099. That's what I would choose.
Oh man. Yeah, Miguel O'Hara,
Yes.
voiced by the great Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either that or just go full on like live action. Start like with those characters in live action. Why are you making Madam Web movies? Don't forget, we have Craven coming up
Oh
later
yeah.
this year.
Oh yeah, Craven the Hunter. Oh
Guess
man.
we'll need to see which one's better later on this year.
Hopefully it's as good as at least the first Venom. Can anyone
I
like
thought you
can
were about to say Morbius.
I'll take a Morbius type movie. Craven the Hunter was always one of those episodes in the Spider-Man animated series or whatever. I'd probably just flip the channels too. He wasn't
Yeah,
my favorite. He
he
wasn't my
was
favorite.
okay. He's better than Morbius in the cartoons.
Yeah, you're right. Or Madam Web.
Yeah. Jan also said the motions of the connection between those two movies broke me. I think she's referring to when we were talking about No Way
No Way
Home
Home.
and Spider-Man 2. Let us know, guys. Who's better, MJ or MJ?
Was it Michelle Jones or Mary Jane Watson?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if there's no other questions, actually, Frank Udesu, one last message. He goes, I was just gonna say, hopefully it's as good as Morbius. Yeah, realistically, with Sony live action, that's the only hope. Hopefully, there's some entertaining random moments within Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, I hope so too. At least like hopefully Aaron Taylor Johnson could carry the movie enough. I think Russell Crowe's in that movie, right?
Interesting. Is he gonna sing like in Les Miserables?
Or do his little skirt hop in Thor: Love and Thunder?
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that movie.
Yep.
Zeus. Oh my god.
Oh shoot, that movie's pretty bad too, but not as bad as Madam Web.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. There's different levels of suck.
Yep.
And Madam Web just, I don't know, just went to a whole nother level the other way, the other direction. Anyway, Jeremy, let's introduce this actually another repackaged segment.
Okay.
From the get-go, season 1, we had this podcast ritual. In season 7, we're going to repackage the podcast ritual as one last thing. And so our one last thing is any recommendations. It could be a movie or TV show that we're currently watching that we want to recommend to our live stream audience or our listening audience on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. What are the other ones? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatnot. What's one movie or TV show that you want to recommend as we close this initial offering of the soup du jour?
Okay, I'm gonna leave this soup du jour scalding hot because this is a hot take.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say go check out Halo Season 2.
Oh my god.
Because right now it's pretty good. Like Halo Season 1, I got through it. I think there was moments, but Halo Season 2 on Paramount Plus, not sponsored.
Oh, Blasphemy
Uh,
past.
I am yes, I am ready for this next episode of Halo. And if anyone knows me, I'm like Halo's is
Yeah.
my jam right now.
I love Halo. Halo's been very underwhelming for me. I will admit season 2's picking up where season 1 ended, and that's actually a pretty good thing. It's still hard for me not to compare the video game cinematic experience to what we're seeing on Paramount Plus. And for me right now, it's still thumbs firmly in the middle. There's times when it does this sort of thing when Quan is on my TV, like
Shoot.
it has been the last couple of episodes. I am caught up, by the way. But
Oh,
yes,
nice.
they are setting up something good. And we're recording this on the 21st of February, which is a Wednesday. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's episode. Surprisingly.
Yes, I don't want to spoil it. Go check it out. Big things are supposed to happen next episode.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
excited.
talk offline. I kind of want to
Yeah,
know what you think.
I got you.
For my one last thing, I actually I'm trying to get back into watching new stuff because truth be told, I keep watching the same stuff all the time. But now that we have this podcast, it's forced me to watch new stuff again. And so I will recommend, it was better than I thought it would be, Gran Turismo on
Ooh.
Netflix. It was actually, I mean, it was a little predictable,
Oh.
admittedly, but I was entertained throughout. I started the movie pretty late and I actually finished it, and I was actually pretty awake by the end of it. And so, um, in its own way, it kind of reminded me a little bit. Please don't like spam me with
Uh-oh.
comparisons to Ford v Ferrari, but I got a little bit of those vibes. Obviously completely different because we're talking about a video game, or sorry, driving simulator.
Uh-huh.
But if you're a fan of video games and racing and the Gran Turismo franchise, watch it on Netflix. It's pretty good.
Oh.
And Dana Martin backs me up, basically says Gran Turismo was actually a good movie. Thank you.
Yeah. And Francis said Halo Season 2 looking good.
Yes.
So we're not alone in this world, Ken. I'll go see Gran Turismo. After like watching Madam Web, and I watched, what did I watch right after? I don't know. I forgot what I watched. I don't know. I think I probably watched Halo. I'm just kidding. It just made Halo look like the best thing in the world after that. So there's our kind of hot takes, kind of. I think Gran Turismo got pretty good reviews.
Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
Oh. Well, if you do watch it, let me know what you think.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty curious. I mean, it's got a pretty good cast. It's got Hopper. It's got
Will Turner.
Yeah, Will Turner.
It's just the characters, not even the actors.
And the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy says, "Who?" Star-Lord, man. Star-Lord.
Yeah, those guys. Those
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. We know their names.
Yeah. No, but yeah, definitely check those out. Gran Turismo on Netflix, and then Halo, the Halo series on Paramount Plus. Not sponsored by either of those two streaming services. So, Jeremy, any final thoughts before we close out our very first live stream?
No, I think the draft was really fun. You took like Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 off my board. I was like, dang.
Well,
I almost
you
had
took
to go
into
see
the you took Into the Spider-Verse off my board. So
Yeah, I mean that's like someone would even choose that as the number one. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, dude, that leap of faith thing is still probably one of the best shots ever in cinematic history, I think.
yeah, watching those movies back to back is good.
Yeah,
It's good.
But yeah, so Jeremy, well, actually, before we do our new sign off and everything, I want to thank everyone that joined us on the live stream today. I know today was a little bit more of an intimate gathering because we weren't too sure how this whole software was going to work out. So we're like, let's do a kind of an invite only live stream. more than likely next week will be open to the public. So all I got to say is remember to just subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell for notifications on scheduled live streams, which will normally be on Wednesday nights at 7:00 Pacific time. So any other things that I missed?
No, yeah, like comment on Instagram or whatever what news you might be interested in talking about,
Yeah.
or anything like that. If you want more drafts on, like, I
Anything.
wouldn't even say MCU though, because we did our whole MCU ranking. Like, but who knows? You know, we could talk about other stuff.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it related to whatever movie that we're covering on a given week. And again, we're only covering new movies this season. So if you want to kind of check out the movie schedule, and if you have any suggestions on soup du jour topics, let us know. But yeah. Oh, last thing. For all of the rest of the podcast releases, we're still going to be releasing the audio version, cleaned up version of this podcast on Mondays. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, following Monday. And then stay tuned for just random short clips from this live stream on TikTok and Instagram at Weekly Real Pod. They're down that way, at Weekly Real Pod for TikTok, and at Weekly Real on Instagram. And then give us some feedback, review all our podcasts, give us our 5 stars. Hopefully, we can kind of shoot up the charts, baby. Next time, baby. But yes, again, thank you again for everyone that joined us on our very first live stream. Again, check out Madam Web. It's out in theaters now. Episode 111 will be on your favorite podcast app on Monday. So we'll see you in about 1 week.
7 days. Okay, fine. 1 week.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. 1 week. And we will see you next week for Argyle on the reel. on the wheel.
On the wheel. This is what you get when you get us live.
Yeah, we're not going to edit that out. We're on the reel.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.